Well, Gran Turismo 7's 1.29 update is upon us, and as such we have 5 new cars to buy. And it just so happens that one of those is very good at earning money, so you can do so. Perhaps ironically, at 2.5 million credits, the Honda RA272 is the most expensive car of the update, but if you have that money, I do highly suggest going for it, because as you're about to see, it is very good. And using our old friend, the 700pp Le Mans event, you'll be able to earn the cost of the car back in an hour and a half. Of course, the car is brand new to the game at the moment, so for the next week or two it will be available to buy in the legendary dealership, and after that it will just recur every now and then if you're wondering how to get the vehicle. But with that out of the way, let's move on to upgrades, and that is a very simple affair. All you need to buy is the fully customizable transmission, intermediate and wet tyres, and the high RPM turbocharger. I did purchase ballast and the power restrictor as well, but they're not needed, because even with that high RPM turbocharger and the car now putting out about 420 horsepower, it's still under the 700pp requirement of the event, so you don't really need to do anything with settings or anything like that to artificially lower it to get it in to be eligible. As you can see, my car is currently sat at 687 performance points with a few minor tuning tweaks, which we'll get into right now. Following on though from that point about the performance points, there's plenty of scope here to change the handling characteristics of the car to suit you, because you're not bound by them, and getting it under the 700 performance points without sacrificing performance, because as you're about to see, this thing is so fast it doesn't really matter, so just tweak it to however it suits you. So jumping into the race, I want to quickly allay one of the concerns that I had and you might have as well when I was thinking about the possibility of using this car, and that's fuel consumption. Because out of habit I just cranked the fuel meter up to 6 to make it the leanest possible mixture so it would last the longest, and this will easily do this race on 1 tank of fuel, and you can definitely crank that down and get some more speed out of it. So basically, under no circumstances will you need to refuel in this race. The only pit stops you'll need to do are for tyres, so of course keep an eye on your weather radar for any inclement conditions. But as you can see here in the dry, even with the slowest possible fuel mixture and a bit of slipstream, it's getting over 200 miles an hour down the straight, and it just breezes by everything like it's standing still. The car does have a few funny handling characteristics, but of course you can engineer those out in the settings however you see fit. But yes, ultimately this thing gets through the field so quick that it doesn't really matter, and provided you're happy enough with how the car is, it's not bad when the rain comes down either. I had a weird event with how the rain was. It came down a little bit, I slapped some intermediate tyres on, and then it died down and kind of threatened heavier rain for almost 2 laps before actually coming down, by which point my intermediate tyres were pretty shot, and this thing was sliding about all over the place. But honestly, I was so far ahead, and it was just hilarious fun. I'll perhaps get more into it in its own individual review of the car itself, but I didn't particularly gel with how the car drove in its standard guise before playing with any of the settings, or most importantly, just giving it almost twice the power that it normally has from standard. But yeah, here like this, it feels like an old racing car. It moves about a bit, but it has that lovely quality where if it starts to slide, it all feels like it's happening in slow motion, and it's pretty controllable, although you do have to be careful to brake in a straight line. That aside though, normal rules for this event apply. There is a little bit of mechanical damage, so try not to bump into the other AI cars or lose your clean race bonus, but win, as you should. Perhaps I got quite lucky with the weather, but I ended up winning this event by almost a full 2 minutes from second place. And there you have it, you'll have an extra 825,000 credits in your Gran Turismo bank balance after half an hour, which of course equates to 1.65 million over an hour. This is also the best car to use for this event, so what's not to love? You'll have a lot of fun, and I know a lot of people like to mix the car usage up with this event, so here's another option, and it might be the best one yet. That's going to be it from me for this video. I hope you found this guide helpful. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.